Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. I'm excited about today's video because it is in collaboration with Olivia Snyder. Olivia has a lifestyle channel where she shares all about cleaning and budgeting and family life. She is a mama of 3 kiddos. So if you guys have not checked out her channel, I will leave a link to her channel below in the description box and you guys can check out her channel and see her video. But today's video is going to be all about money saving and budgeting tips. So we're both going to be sharing our own money saving tips of what we do to budget and save money. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. So let's jump into it. Okay, money saving and budgeting, I would say the saving aspect is something that I'm really passionate about, and just over a series of life events, we have learned to save really well. We're not always perfect about it, but we have learned over the years what works for our family and what is necessary for us to do. If you guys don't know, we are a family of 4. 2 adults, 2 kids, and we live primarily on one income. And we have lived on one income the last 8 years of our marriage. And some of you guys know, if you have been following me for a really long time, that back in 2008, during like the fall of the recession in the housing market, I was laid off from my job. At that time, we didn't have any kids. It was just my husband and I. But around that time, we really learned to budget and save because we were forced very suddenly to learn to live on one income. And so that kind of life event is really what sparked us into really budgeting well and saving and learning how to do that whole thing. I did start working again when my first child was about 8.5 months old, and I worked for about 2.5 years, and we worked really hard during that time because we knew that we wanted to have another baby eventually. But when that time came, I knew that I wanted to stay home for good with both of them, and I didn't want to work. So again, we worked really hard to get to a point where we could also live on one income again. So we've learned to live on one income for the better part of 8 or so years. And so one thing that really helped us really early on in that time was we read Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, and we went through his Financial Peace University. And if you've never heard of Dave Ramsey before, he is kind of he's really knowledgeable, and he's a great expert in budgeting and learning how to live debt-free. And he has a lot of tips in his books and in his podcast that I really just took to during that season many years ago. And I will leave links to his books and his website down below that you guys can check out. And so during that season, I just soaked up all the knowledge that I could. I went to one of his seminars, and I met him in person, and he's just been a really great guide and expert for our family as we have learned to budget. And one of the biggest things we learned from him is how to budget. And so I have like a little list here that I'm gonna be looking at and going over as I share these things with you guys. So my first thing is budget. Figure out a budget and stick to it. We were new to budgeting. I hate to say it, but we really did not budget. I mean, I had like a rough idea of what our expenses were when we first got married, but we really didn't budget until, like I said, that whole life event of getting laid off and being forced to live on one income. And so one of the things we really learned from Dave Ramsey is how to budget and how to stick to it. So that's my number one money saving tip, is figure out a budget, and number 2, or alongside that, and stick to your budget. And this is something that I do month to month. We sit down, and like I said, you have fixed expenses, like if you have a mortgage, or you know what utility bills are roughly going to be every month, or, you know, your phone bill. There's different, you know, if you have student loans or car payment, there's different fixed expenses like that that you are going to know are going to stay the same every single month. But one of the reasons that we do it month to month and sit down and budget is because sometimes my son is involved in seasonal sports that we need to budget that money for during a certain month, or my daughter has some things coming up for school or dance, you know, that we need to budget for. So we have fixed expenses, and then we have some expenses that come up every couple of months that we know we need to budget for. If it's like a heavy birthday season coming up, we will budget for birthday gifts. We budget for Christmas every single year and make a plan of how much we want to spend. We budget for vacations. So that's why we sit down every single month and go over the budget. And if you're not used to budgeting, this could take longer for you than others who are. And as you get into a rhythm, this will become easier and easier. So my second tip is to pay yourself first. And this is something that we learned from Dave Ramsey and his courses and through his books that has really, we've taken a hold of and really implemented into our lives, is pay yourself first. That means when payday comes, we pay ourselves first. The first thing we do is tithe. That's super important to us, and it's a spiritual discipline that me and my family, we practice. And the second thing we do is we set money aside into savings and the 401k. So when you're looking at paying yourself money, set aside in your savings that's there when you need it for emergencies or whatever you want to use it for. And I really love that principle and practicing that principle because it's just so effective to know that you're setting money aside for your savings, like I said, for emergencies or trips or, you know, whatever you have going on. For us, we knew that we were going to have the expense this year of braces for my daughter. So we started setting money aside right away when we knew that that was going to happen so that it could be paid for in cash and we weren't going to go into debt for that. Same way with vacations. We set aside money and budget for it so that when we go on vacation, it's paid for in cash and we do it debt free. Okay, this third one is, I'm going to say this and you're going to be like, Andrea, that is extreme. But this third thing is something that we did for 8 years, and that is have one car. I know that is extreme, and you're saying to me, Andrea, I can't do that. First of all, let me tell you, you can do anything that you put your mind to for any amount of time that you need to do it if you have to do it. And for us, we had one car for the entire first 8 years of our marriage. We've been married for 10 years now, and we had one car for 8 years. And in that 8 years, we had not one child, but 2 children. I shuffled them from dance class to preschool. I took my husband to work when I needed to because we had one vehicle. So the reason that we did that was, number one, to save money. Number two, in certain situations, we couldn't afford another vehicle, so it just wasn't even an option. It was something that we had to do. And so we've just made it work. So if you can do that, if you can have one car and one car payment or no car payment and one insurance bill, that was a huge money saver for us. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't difficult, because it definitely was difficult in different seasons when you're getting up because your husband goes to work way earlier than your kids go to school, and you're taking him to work, then you're coming home, getting your kids ready for school, and then taking them to school, and then you're going to pick him up for work. Like, I'm not going to say that it was a walk in the park, because it was not. And there were definitely different seasons where it was super inconvenient. and difficult, and there were days that I didn't want to do that, but I knew that it was saving us so much money having one vehicle, one insurance payment. And so we had one vehicle for 8 years. And in that time, we saved a lot of money and we paid off the car. And then we did not get a second vehicle until we had one vehicle completely paid off, because we did not want 2 car payments. So if you can do it, and a lot of this is just like thinking outside the box. In our culture today, it's like totally normal to have 2 cars. Like people don't even think twice about it and having 2 car payments. And so sometimes you just got to think outside the box when it comes to money saving and do what works for your family. And so I know that that's like an extreme example, but I really wanted to share with you guys some of the ways that we have been able to save money and live on one income and make it work. And that was a huge thing for us, having one car for 8 years of our lives. And really, we've only had 2 cars now, 2 years. And so it was a huge money saver. So if you can do it, I highly suggest doing it, because you will save a ton of money. Okay, number 4 is cut the cable. We have not had cable for going on like 9 years. We haven't had cable for 9 years. 9 years ago, we moved across the country from Minnesota to Arizona, which is where we live now. And we had to shut off our cable when we moved, and we were at the end of our contract anyways. And so it was really easy to just cut the cable. And we moved here and we never turned the cable back on. And that was a huge money saver for us month to month. And only in the last year have we added, we use Sling TV, and we pay $24 a month. And if you haven't heard of Sling TV, I will leave a link below in the description box for you guys if you want to check it out. But basically it's cable, but you don't pay, you only pay for the channels that you want. And so we don't pay, you know, 50, 60, hundreds of dollars in cable bills and installation services, and we haven't for years because we just cut the cable out. So that's another good tip. Number 5 is rent library books and DVD from the library. I am a huge reader and I love books. I love browsing Barnes & Noble and Amazon and picking up the latest book that's out. But I realized a long time ago I would go broke if I bought every single book that came across my news feed or that I saw online. And so I started renting or checking out books from the library. And it has saved me so much money, because you know that there are some books where you are not going to read them again, and you're only going to read them once, and then you bought the book and then it's just sitting around in your house, or you give it away. And I felt like that was such a waste of money that I didn't need to buy. And not that I never have bought another book, but what I do is if there's a book that I'm interested in reading, I write it down in my little notebook that I keep in my purse, and I go check that book out from the library. And if it's a book by chance that I know I'm going to want to read over, then I'll go buy it, because I know that I've already read it and I might want to come back to it. But generally speaking, I rent or check out a lot of books from the library. I go take my kids to the library, they check out books, and it's kind of become like a fun thing for us to do, honestly. And so it's been really nice to do that, especially with summer coming up, to do that. So anyways, that's a really great money saving tip if you are a person that likes to read a lot and check out books and media. Do it at your library, and it's free. It's free to do. Okay, number 6. Limit eating out and family activities. So this is going to be different for every family depending on your budget. But for us, one of the ways that we've been able to save money is we don't eat out all the time. We eat out maybe once a week, if that, maybe once every 2 weeks. And if there's a family activity that we want to do, we budget for it, again, like I said, and we plan ahead to set aside that money, whether it's bowling or the movies or whatever. We make a plan for it and we budget for it. And so because we don't spend money on eating out a lot and we really plan out our family activities, we're able to save more because we're not just like frivolously going out to eat all the time. Number 7, this is a new one for me and it has been a game changer, which has been to use a grocery, either like a grocery pickup service where you go online and you order your groceries and then you drive to the store and then you pick them up. This has been a game changer for me and it has saved me so much money because I am not going inside the store and looking around and grabbing for things that are not on my list and that I don't need, and my kids aren't asking for things that are not on the list and that we don't need. I plan out my meals for every day of the week that we're having meals at home, and I go online. I use the ClickList service from the Fry's Kroger in my area, but there are tons of different services like this where you can either pay or it's free. Walmart grocery delivery or pickup is an amazing option and they don't charge a service fee, and Walmarts are everywhere. So if you don't have that in your area, chances are you have a Walmart in your area. And I'm telling you, this is a total game changer because like I said, you're making a list, you're going online, you're sticking to it, you're only buying the things you need, and you're not getting sucked into this trap of buying stuff that you don't need. And I have been able to save so much money on our monthly grocery bill because I'm only buying the things that I need and not buying a bunch of junk that we don't need. Okay, the next thing is save money for home and DIY projects so that you can do it debt-free. For us, we just moved into a new house about a month and a half ago, and we've been DIYers and home project people for so many years prior to this. So one of the things that this goes back to paying yourself first and putting money into savings so that you can have money to do those things debt free. If there's a home project, if there's appliances that we need, if there's something big for our house that we need, like a new mattress or a piece of furniture, we price that out, know how much we want to spend or how much it's going to be, and then we start saving for it, and we only purchase those things for home projects or furniture or mattresses until we have the money in the cash set aside so that we can remain debt free in those areas. So that's huge for us. Number 9, buy stuff on sale. Always. I mean, I'm not kidding you. This will save you so much money. Anything worth having, in my opinion, is worth waiting for it to go on sale or get a Groupon for or find a discount code. If I'm shopping online, I always go to one of those like discount sale sites, like Retail Me Not is one of them, and find a coupon code. A lot of times, like I just did this last weekend, I went summer clothing shopping for my kids. We went to Old Navy. I subscribed to their email newsletters, and so I knew that they were having a sale. And on top of that, I found a coupon code for like $15 off your purchase. And so I was like armed and ready. And side note, don't ever buy anything on sale or like that's not on sale at Old Navy, because if you buy it one week and it's not on sale, the chances are that it's going to go on sale the next week are huge. So that's just like my little side note. So I just don't buy anything that's not on sale or that I don't have a coupon code for, because there are always sales and there are always coupon codes. You just have to look for them and do your research, and you will save tons and tons of money just by doing that, because you're not paying retail. I do whatever I can to not pay retail for anything. And sometimes it does require a little bit of planning and a little extra effort on my part to do that. But I'm so accustomed to doing that it's just so easy for me. And last but not least, number 10 is gas. Saving money on gas is huge. If you're a busy mom too and you're carting your kids around to activities in school and you're just doing general family things, or you're getting up and you're going to work, or your husband's going to work and you're back and forth commuting if you don't live really close to those places, saving money on your gas is huge. So 2 ways that we have saved money on gas is, number 1, we have a Costco membership. Most Costco's and Sam's Clubs, which are usually the 2 that people have in their area, if you're a member, you save on fuel at their gas pumps. And so we save money by buying gas at Costco. And the second way that we save money is getting fuel points from our local grocery store. A lot of grocery stores do this nowadays. And if you're not utilizing the fuel points at your local grocery store, you're missing out, because you can save 10, 20, 30, you can save a lot per gallon by using your fuel points or filling up at Sam's Club or Costco. So my husband commutes an hour to and from work. And then, like I said, we're taking kids back and forth, to activities. Thankfully, we live close to my daughter's school and we're able to walk to school. But like I said, my husband drives an hour each way to work. So he's using a lot of gas. And so this is one of the big ways that we save money, is we don't, again, sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to make sure that you watch your gas tank and fill up at one of those 2 places so that you can save money. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope maybe that you learned a few tips and tricks about how you can save money and apply these tips to your life. Let me know in the comments below one of your favorite money saving tips that you can share with me, or let me know which of your favorite tip that I shared that you're going to implement into your life starting now. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys have not clicked subscribe, I would love for you guys to subscribe and become a part of my YouTube family here. And after you're done watching this video, click below and go ahead and watch Olivia's video. She has a lot of great budgeting and saving tips for you guys, so be sure to check out her channel. Thanks guys, have a good day.